another episode of the program Improve Seeds on Nigerian's Agricultural Television. I am Hilda Homsem Frantuam. On the program today, we'll be discussing the importance of improved seeds on food security. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Food security can be defined as a condition when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. CFS 2012. It can also be linked to changes in food availability, food access, food utilization, food security, or even income. The good news is that the use of high-yielding, climate-resilient, diseases-resilient, nutrient-rich, adaptable and high-quality improved seeds of various crops will make it possible to produce more food profitable without expanding farmland, thereby saving the planet. Why then do we need to improve our seeds? Increasing the quality of seeds can also increase the yield potential of the crop by significant folds, and thus is one of the most economical and efficient inputs to agricultural development. Chemical or biological seed treatments can provide critical protection since the germination stage, protecting the emergence out of the soil and during the first stage of the crop cycle by preventing seeds against soil-borne pathogens, seeds-borne insects, diseases, and pests. Some of the advantages of preserving seeds is that seeds hold the power to regenerate species, promote biodiversity, and enable ecosystems to adapt to an ever-changing world. These are primary reasons why it is necessary to preserve the seeds, and it is this need through which the concept of seed bank emerge. Seeds are an important food source for humans and animals, and they make up our grains, nuts, and cooking oils. Seeds are also important for the plant itself, as it can be planted in the ground to grow new plants. In some cases, the seeds are covered with fruits. Seeds are the dominant sources of human calories and protein. The most important and popular seeds food sources are cereal, followed by legumes and nuts. Their nutritional content of fiber, protein, and monosaturated or polyunsaturated fats makes them extremely nutritious. Given that timely and sufficient access to quality and preferred seeds are major challenges, particularly in low and middle income countries, seed system development investments have included breeding for improved varieties, increasing market supply of quality seeds, soil health and fertility management to improve seeds quality, development of infrastructure, capacity strengthening across the seeds value chain, enhancing access to finance to support farmers' access to seeds and investment in seed technologies, and of course the improvement of policy and regulatory framework gives way to better seeds and food security. Let's listen to some of our dignitaries during the 2024 World Food Day celebration, where a call to help and support farmers to add to food security. Let's hear them.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to this ministerial press briefing on the occasion of the 2024 World Food Day celebration. It is a day celebrated on 16th October every year all over the world in over 150 FAO member countries. This is because the founding fathers of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in 1945 saw the need to make food a central theme of global efforts. This global event brings together government, private sector, civil society organization, media, and the public to create more awareness on the nature of the global food challenge and to highlight the need to develop global action to ensure food security for all. As we are aware, the objective of the World Food Day are to raise awareness about global food security issues, promote global cooperation and action to address hunger and malnutrition, support sustainable agriculture and food system, initiate policies to ensure food accessibility, availability, and affordability, and inspire collective action to achieve zero hunger for all citizens. Today, the trends of rapid population growth, climate change, urbanization, instability, and pandemics are putting global food security under increasing stress. Of food security and nutrition in the world report, as published by FAO, there are around 733 million people facing hunger in 2023, which is equivalent to 1 in 11 people globally and 1 in 5 persons in Africa. About 2.33 billion people globally face moderate or severe food insecurity in 2023, and over 2.8 billion people were unable to afford a healthy diet in 2022. The FAO has warned that if current trends continue, about 582 million people will be chronically undernourished in 2030, half of them in Africa, unfortunately. In particular, rural areas are disproportionately affected, with a third of rural adults experiencing moderate or severe food insecurity. These long-term consequences of hunger lead to intergenerational poverty and inequality, reduced economic growth and development, increased dependence on foreign aid and assistance, as well as decreased global competitiveness. It is important to state that the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs 1 and 2, have highlighted ending poverty and hunger alongside several key issues. Addressing these issues requires concerted efforts from government, national and international organizations, and individuals to ensure that everyone has access to basic necessities like food, shelter, healthcare, education, potable water, among others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this year's World Food Day is, quote, "The right to food for a better life and a better future," end of quote. This slogan emphasizes the importance of ensuring access to safe and nutritious food for everybody. It highlights the core objectives of the World Food Day and brings to mind the need to improve our food systems and promote efforts toward ending hunger and malnutrition. The right to food is recognized as a fundamental human right in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights and enshrined in the 1966 International Convention on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. This right is also protected by regional treaties and national constitutions. Nigeria amended its constitution in the last assembly in 2023, where this issue of right to food was captured in our constitution. As a human right, the right to food protects the right of people to feed themselves in dignity, implying that sufficient food is available, that people have the means to access it, and that it adequately meets the individual's dietary needs. It underscores the right of all human beings to be free from hunger, food insecurity, and malnutrition. To address availability, accessibility, adequacy and sustainability of food, and tackle the underlying structural causes of hunger, therefore, requires a comprehensive and sustained effort that involves various stakeholders and levels of responsibility. Accordingly, the promotion of sustainable agricultural practices, reduction of food waste and loss, implementation of social protection programs, strengthening of international cooperation and humanitarian aid will require collective action. Global hunger is therefore far-reaching. The continual conflict and displacement, economic shocks, instability, inflation, and rising food prices have had a devastating impact on global food supply. Adding to the multiple challenges facing global food security are the colossal ramifications of climate change, with increased incidences of droughts, floods, heavy rainfall, and heat waves, desertification, and rising ocean temperatures. These threats adversely affect not only food production, but also agricultural livelihoods, with developing countries like Nigeria bearing the disproportionate burden. Nigeria's current state of food security is emphasized, but the recent high food inflation rate is the major concern. To address underlying challenges impacting the attainment of our national food security goals, the federal government, under our visionary president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is implementing numerous economic reforms to stimulate productive capacity, create jobs, reduce cost of living, and put emphasis on emergency responses and targeted humanitarian actions so that our citizens can get some reprieve. Building on the momentum to end hunger and promote sustainable agriculture, the present administration, like I said, under His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is implementing a lot of policies, programs, and initiatives. And I will call at the right time some of our core directors who are here to give some snippets of activities that are ongoing in the field, because that is the core of what our citizens want to see government doing. And just yesterday, we visited or were in the field for almost 2 hours, because we left around 10 and we did not come back to the office here until around 5 o'clock. Now, our experience yesterday was massive. We visited farm clusters in Buhari Area Council, and we were able to see the response, the resilience of Nigerians, and how, despite the insecurity challenge that has reduced the amount of farmlands available for farming, Nigerians have shown resilience by going into the urban centers where development has not fully captured the lands available, and all manners of crops have been planted in those clusters. Rice, guinea corn, maize, soybean, sesame seed, or is this sesame, cowpea. In fact, the amount of cowpea in that area is amazing. And all on what? Already allotted residential plots, to show that Nigerians know until we go back to the land and farm and produce, we may be having more difficult times. And I think what we saw yesterday was really what we call hope in the horizon. And we're very amazed. We came back to the Government Day Guest Secondary School in Dutse Bakaranta, all under Buhari Area Council, and we saw the amazing work the students in that school, their agric teachers, are doing to provide additional food which they use in the school. We saw a fish farm, we saw poultry, we saw ruminant farming, we saw yam farms, we saw, most importantly also, pepper of different types, both the different names they call, I can't remember the names now, but both the round ones, the ones that look like bell, the ones with long, sharp end, you know, is it what do you call it? So you know the names. And, you know, including onion. And that is exactly what we are saying. And Nigerians may recall that in partnership with the office of the First Lady, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, we launched the Young Farmers Club for all schools. What we saw there is the model of what we are talking about. And definitely, it shows that this is something that represents hope for our citizens. At the end of the day, we as a ministry are taking all of this very seriously. The Young Farmers Club will be promoted under this ministry, and I think, like I said, I will get back to some of the directors who are here to give some idea of what exactly we are doing. This year, the Nigerian government has ordered for release of more than 102 metric tons of maize, millet, gari, in addition to other food commodities from the National Food Reserve to Nigerians. And that explains why we are particular about ramping up production, because if we take out of the reserve, we must also find a way to stock back. So these are the issues we are dealing with. During the national broadcast on Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, our president, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, emphasized commitment to reducing food costs and increasing food production. The government is prioritizing mechanized farming with the aim of accelerating agricultural production and promoting economic growth. Now, here also we have different programs, and the Director of Mechanization will shortly tell you what exactly this program is all about, because on an occasion like this, it is important to re-emphasize to Nigerians what exactly we are doing and what they should begin to expect. This administration has outlined plans to cultivate 500 hectares of farmland across the country to grow maize, rice, wheat, millet, and other staple crops to boost production, supply, and affordability. The strategy involves collaborating with state government to stem inflation and enhance food security in the country. And that includes the dry season farming and also the wet season farming, which is almost winding down. November is the official flag off of the dry season farming for 2024-2025. And I think we'll also be giving you shortly what we are planning in that regard. Economic opportunities are being enhanced for inclusive participation of small and marginal farmers, women and youth to create jobs, reduce poverty, and boost economic growth. It is the resolve of this administration to develop the agricultural sector to attain the SDG goals, as I've said earlier, especially targeting zero hunger. I've said it several times, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision for our national food security is a country where no Nigerian goes to bed hungry. And I think that target is showing that every single Nigerian counts. Every single Nigerian is important. And we must work to make sure that we remove the inequality. Earlier on, the FAO Assistant Country Director said one of the reasons why we are having hunger and malnutrition and all the other challenges is not because there is no production, but because there are inequalities. So every program of government must also begin to look at that to address the inequality and ensure that there is redistribution of available food from areas of supply to areas of demand. You are all aware that Nigeria contributes significantly to total food supply in West Africa. I think all of us are aware that as we are producing for Nigeria, honestly, all our neighbors are waiting for our harvest. And right now, if you know what is happening in the market, you will know that our neighbors have already started coming into our markets because the harvest have started. Now, that is part of the global ecosystem dynamics that we must also deal with. Accordingly, the federal government of Nigeria is committed to building productive and sustainable partnership with our international development partners to upscale interventions like we are seeing in many areas where we have, for example, the Staple Agricultural Processing Zone project, SAPZ, and we are also having many other development partner projects. Now, it is important to emphasize that global hunger and food crisis demand collective action. And I think occasions like this is where we emphasize the need for that collective actions. And we want to thank the FAO and all other partners who have faith in what we do as we continue to work together. At this juncture, I want to call on government at all levels, especially at the international organizations level, the private sector, civil society organizations, and the general public to work together so that together we can pull away our country from the food crisis and hunger so that our agenda will definitely be delivering that sustainable food supply and a hunger-free or zero hunger country. On this day, I urge all and sundry to get involved by educating ourselves about global food challenges. This is because many citizens may not be aware that the problems we are facing here is not directly caused by anybody in this country, not the president, not governors, for example, or any other political actor, but things that are far, far beyond anybody who is in our country. I think those other challenges are there. And that is a very important point we must take note of. The Russia-Ukraine war is taking a toll, and we also see what is happening in the Middle East as we are currently witnessing. But that is not enough. When you look also at the climate challenges, then you can begin to imagine how complicated the issues are becoming. Fortunately for us in Nigeria, we had some dry spell, but thanks to the use of improved seeds, which the wet season survey that we presented about a week ago actually showed that there is some changes, there is marginal increase. But the use of improved seeds from our research institute is a pointer to the resilience we can build. And I think as a ministry, we are working very hard to reposition the agricultural research system so that our innovative, production processes can be enhanced. Let us be mindful of those facing hunger and malnutrition and take urgent steps to reduce food losses. The Department of Nutrition is here, and we have a National Nutrition Council under the office of the Vice President, who is the chairman, and a lot of work is going on with stakeholders so that we can improve on the state of nutrition of our citizens. By being part of the global food system, we must all come together to bring about the transformation that the world needs. Finally, I want to use this opportunity to express our appreciation to FAO, the World Food Programme, Nestle Nigeria Limited, Oxfam, ActionAid, National Agricultural Foundation of Nigeria, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, and all our numerous partners who have contributed immensely towards the success of this year's World Food Day.
To agreement with about 3 original equipment manufacturers or their agents to supply 30,000 units of tractors and implements such as harrow, plow, ridges, trailers, and other equipment such as combined harvesters, fertilizer spreaders, seed drills, and drones, for the use of our farmers. Before the end of this year, we'll start receiving some of these tractors and equipment, and before the end of next year, by God's grace, we'll have at least 6,000 units of tractors in the country. This will definitely boost our production because we discovered the use of hoes and cutlasses cannot improve our agriculture. It can only give us what we can eat in our homes. If we really want to improve productivity, we need to engage mechanization. And really thank Mr. President in this direction for making it possible for the ministry to enter into this agreement. Apart from that, we discover quite that in the past when we have these tractors, the operators, in most cases, what we have, they are just a driver. They just drive this. They cannot really operate because they don't know how to maintain the tractor. That is why you see somebody with a tractor. After 1 year, the tractor has broken down completely. So the ministry is planning to train our youth, women and youth, so that at any point in time, if you have your tractors, you have list of trained tractors, tractor operators and mechanics that you can easily, make use of. With the help of my permanent secretary, this program will take off very soon so that our youth will be fully, be professionalized in the issue of operation of tractors and, equipment. Then the ministry is equally collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources in the area of having farming all year round, because we don't want a situation whereby after the rainy season, our farmers go back to, to be idle for the next 3-4 months. So it has already entered into collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, and they will provide pivot irrigation, drip irrigation, even our water pumps. What the ministry is doing is to not just provide the one that uses petrol, the one that can be solar, used, so that our farmers can take advantage of the abundance of solar energy, to power the, our pumps. Then our Young Farmers Club, my Honorable Minister just has mentioned, the ministry is going to support them. We support them, but we discovered we have to encourage our youth. The only way you can encourage them while they're in school, let them know quite well that you can do agriculture without just making use of your hand. We have mini tractors which the ministry will try with the, the collaboration with the Office of the First Lady to make use of provide this mini tractor for our schools and our women groups, so that they can really take advantage of what the mechanical aids available to them, and it will definitely encourage them to engage in agriculture even after leaving school.
Thank you for being part of the program. Keep updated with us next time for another episode. I am Hilda Homsen Francois. Cheers and bye from all of us.